Lions and tigers and bears, oh my. What's going on, guys? And that is actually going to be the topic today. I wanted to talk to you guys about a little bit of something that's happened here recently in Ohio. In the meantime, what you guys are watching is currently a COD 4 gameplay with my golden AK-47. I believe it turns out to be a 38 and 3 TDM, so hope you enjoy the content. But what we're here to is to actually discuss something. So if you guys have subscribed to me about a couple months ago, I wanted to start a series where I talked about current news, funny things, anything random and unexpected. And I believe I have one of those clips today, and the reason for being is it actually happened relatively close to where I live. So if anybody of you guys are from Ohio, you probably have heard about it, even from some of the neighboring states. This is a very, very big popular story around me, and let's crack into this real quick. So I'm going to go through here real quick, and I'm going to read you guys the actual, thing from this. And if you guys are curious, you want to research it yourself, I will leave a link down in the description below where you can check what's going on, maybe see slideshows, pictures, see what happened. And it was a real tragedy, but I wanted to go through here and talk to you guys a little bit about this. So typically here we have in Zanesville, Ohio, authorities say that in all 56 exotic animals escaped from a farm in Muskingum County last night, and one could still be missing this afternoon. So this guy, just a random guy, his name was Terry Thompson, was allowed to purchase, like from auctions, I believe is where he got them from. He had over 56 exotic animals. And if you guys are unaware what exotic animals are, I'm not talking like little box turtles and kittens. I'm talking lions, tigers, bears, camels. I don't know how he got them here, how he was able to survive and let alone feed and take care of these, let alone these animals have got to be expensive. He had like Siberian tigers, which I believe are going extinct right now. They're endangered. So he had quite a collection of animals, and he was a very, very bitter kind of person. So now that you've had a little summary about who he is, we're going to cut right back into this. Of those animals, 49 of them were killed. 6 animals, a grizzly bear, 3 leopards, and 2 monkeys were captured alive and taken to the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium. And at last night, roughly, there was 1 monkey and a gray wolf were at large. They ended up finding the gray wolf. They have not found the monkey yet. But the one reason that makes the monkey story so unusual is because it's got herpes. So yes, the last animal alive, the last escaped convict, is a herpes-wielding monkey. So with that all being said, that it's quite a unique story. If somebody told me about 60 random animals and lions and tigers and stuff getting loose out in the public, I'd be like, wow. And then to find out that all of them were killed, which was just an extreme tragedy. And then to find the last one alive is a monkey with herpes. And it's just like, and it's really, really common. So with animals, you find a lot of those, AIDS and herpes and stuff like that is a very, very common thing, especially in monkeys. And so if you guys are unfamiliar with that, I just thought that was extremely unusual. And out of everything killed, here's the list of the animals that were killed. So out of the animals, there were 18 tigers, including Siberian tigers. And if you guys have never seen a Siberian tiger, my God, they are beautiful. They're beautiful creatures. And then there were 9 male lions, 8 female lions, 6 black bears, 3 mountain lions, 2 grizzly bears, 1 baboon, 2 wolves, and a partridge in a pear tree, guys. It was sad to know that it got to the point where all these animals were released. Now, what happened is this guy just got out of jail. He served a year term. He just got out of jail. He's been out for 3 weeks. Found out, I think his wife left him or something. He was a miserable person. So he came out of jail. He was extremely in a bad sense of, living and how he was handling his life. And through all of that, apparently life was just so hard for him, he ended up taking his own life. But before doing so, he cut the wiring and let out all of these animals. And I want to know how that was possible. Like, seriously, wouldn't you think he would have been snagged by one of the tigers as soon as he, let them out of the cage? But somehow he was able to free 56 animals and then kill himself. And then one of the tigers came back and snacked on his head. And it was an extremely unusual story, and it was really, really sad because the first thing is the general public is really what is the essential thing they need to focus on. They got to worry about these animals getting out. One of the mountain lions got hit by a car, and the worst part about it is I think there were 28 animals that made it outside of the fences of the actual farm that he lived at, and those were immediately cut down. They had a bunch of guys out there with rifles and shotguns and everything taking down these animals. A bunch of hillbilly fucks. So you got a bunch of these rednecks that are chasing after these animals, just for bragging rights. So even if they were to find them or whatever was going down. But then again, I wanted to ask you guys, what would you have done? If you were to make the call, the actual sheriff gave the call, gave the okay to kill on sight, and which I think is logical. But there were also, I think, 25 more of them that were killed inside of the gates. So They were still in his place, on his land, no threat to anybody. Instead of tranquilizing them, they actually went in there and killed them. So I don't know if I would have handled that part that way, but it was an extremely sad story to hear because these creatures are not only valuable, you got to understand that you can't just go to Walmart and pick up a tiger. Some of these things were endangered, so let alone losing something that doesn't have many left to continue on its race is just a sad burden in its own. But that's like $1 million in animals just gone. That's life that has just been wasted like that because one guy got upset with his life, killed himself. But in all reality, why would he let them out first? What would have gone through his mind to actually release them? Was it to create a havoc and make it to the point? Was it actually just a natural thing? Well, they deserve to be on their own. They can forage for themselves, pick up some hot Cheetos and chocolate milk. Did he want them to be free, as how nature intended them to be? Or was it just like kind of a last-minute thing? I don't need to go up inside of a library and kill everybody. Let's just try to make it a big havoc, a big news story. Release 5 million animals into the wild and see if they kill anybody. So you had to think what was going on through this guy's head to release all these animals. He didn't release them all because a couple months back, his camels actually got loose and were on the freeway and shit, clogging up traffic. So, just give me your thoughts on this. Would you have handled it differently? Would you have tried to tranquilize and save these animals? Would you have given the okay for the public safety? How would you have handled this in the sheriff's position? And why do you think the guy actually release these animals? What do you think his motive was for doing so? So that's my little story clip for you guys today. I know it's not one of my random goofy commentaries, but I thought it was a unique story. I wanted to share it with you guys. Like I said, down below will be the description. You can go check out all of the details on this story. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out. Get it.